Today we embark on this prayer together, understanding the weight of betrayal, hidden battles, and silent struggles that many of us carry. This is a safe moment before God, where He sees what others missed and hears what was never spoken aloud. As we begin, let your heart be open and your faith rise, because we are calling on the God who defends, restores, and brings peace as we pray. Lord my God, I lift my voice to you with the weight of my heart fully exposed, declaring that you hear me and you attend to me now. I refuse silence, I reject distance, and I deny abandonment, for you are the God who bends low to hear the cries of the wounded and the betrayed. And today I proclaim with bold faith that my prayer is not ignored, my voice is not overlooked, and my cry is not lost in the heavens, but received with divine urgency and holy attention. I declare that every word released from my mouth carries spiritual authority and reaches you without obstruction, delay, or interference. No power of darkness, no spiritual veil, no hidden resistance can block my prayer, for the God who answers from His holy habitation is responding now, dismantling barriers, tearing down walls, and opening the way for divine intervention in my life. Father, I proclaim that you are not distant from my pain, nor indifferent to my distress, but you arise now as my defender and my refuge, responding to me with power that shakes secret places, disrupts hidden plots, and exposes the darkness that has been working behind familiar faces and trusted voices. I declare that as my cry rises, confusion enters the camp of my enemies, unrest overtakes those who plot against me, and divine disturbance interrupts every plan formed in secrecy. Let the sound of my prayer trouble every gathering of betrayal, every whisper of deception, and every hidden counsel designed to harm me. I decree that the Lord answers me with action and not delay, with power and not silence, with deliverance and not postponement. I proclaim that heaven moves because I have cried, angels are released because I have spoken, and divine judgment is activated against every force assigned to prolong my pain and manipulate my destiny. Let every voice raised against me in malice, jealousy, and deceit be silenced by the voice of the Lord speaking on my behalf. I declare that no accusation, no false narrative, and no evil word spoken in secret or in public can override the verdict of heaven established over my life. I refuse to pray from a place of fear, panic, or weakness, for my spirit is strengthened by the presence of God. I declare that my prayer carries faith, confidence, and divine alignment, and therefore it cannot be rejected, delayed, or rendered powerless, because it flows from a heart anchored in trust in the Most High. I proclaim that my God is present with me in this moment, attentive to every burden in my heart, responsive to every cry of my soul, and involved in every detail of my situation. I reject loneliness and declare divine nearness, divine involvement, and divine action operating on my behalf right now. Let this prayer provoke immediate movement in the spiritual realm, causing divine rearrangement, supernatural exposure, and irreversible shifts. I decree that stagnant situations begin to move, hidden betrayals are brought to light, and delayed answers are released by the authority of the living God. I seal this cry by faith, declaring that my prayer has been heard, my case has been taken up by heaven, and divine intervention is already unfolding in my favor. Help has come, answers are released, and the hand of the Lord is actively working for my deliverance, my protection, and my peace. Lord my God, I declare that you arise now against every enemy who troubles my peace, and every false friend who hides betrayal in their heart. For you see the violence, deception, and manipulation that surround me. And today I proclaim that you release divine disturbance into every plan formed against my life, causing confusion where there was coordination, and chaos where there was secret agreement. I decree that every gathering held in darkness to plot my downfall is invaded by the presence of God, and every conversation meant to harm me is interrupted by divine confusion. Let their words clash, let their thoughts scatter, and let their unity dissolve, so that nothing they plan against me reaches completion. Father, I declare that unrest enters the hearts of those who smile before me, but plot behind me, and let the peace they pretend to carry be replaced with uneasiness, fear, and exposure. May their conscience trouble them day and night, until their hidden intentions lose strength and their deceptive schemes collapse completely. I proclaim that the Lord releases divine noise into the camp of my adversaries, disturbing their sleep, unsettling their minds, and frustrating their timing. Let every carefully planned betrayal lose accuracy. Let every calculated move fail, and let every agenda built on deceit fall apart before it manifests. I declare that those who seek to swallow me up with words of flattery and hearts of war are overtaken by divine disarray. Their counsel turns against them, their wisdom becomes foolishness, and their confidence melts away as the Lord rises to defend me openly and powerfully. Let the terror of divine exposure enter the hearts of those who walk in double-mindedness toward me. I decree that they can no longer maintain their masks, their lies weaken, their strength fades, and their influence over my life is completely broken by the authority of the living God. I proclaim that every voice speaking confusion, intimidation, and fear into my life is silenced by divine authority. Let the noise of my enemies be drowned out by the voice of the Lord speaking peace, direction, and assurance over me, causing their threats to lose all power. I decree that the plans of those who seek my harm are disrupted at the root. Their timing is ruined, their coordination is broken, and their resources dry up. Nothing they attempt against me will succeed, for God himself stands as a barrier between me and every plot of darkness. Father, I declare that you trouble those who trouble me and unsettle those who seek to unsettle my life. Let divine opposition rise against them from unexpected places, causing them to abandon their pursuit and retreat from every scheme formed against my destiny. I seal this declaration by faith, proclaiming that confusion reigns in the camp of my enemies, betrayal backfires upon the betrayers, and divine disturbance has permanently dismantled every plan formed against me. The Lord has taken over my battles, and my peace is preserved by his mighty hand. Lord my God, I declare that you arise as the God who sees the heart and exposes hidden intentions. And today I proclaim that every false friend operating in my life under the cover of familiarity, kindness, and shared history is revealed by your light. Let no deception remain concealed, and let every hidden agenda be brought into full exposure by your divine truth. I decree that every mask worn to deceive me is torn away by the hand of God, and every double tongue speaking peace while carrying war is silenced. I declare that those who walk closely with me yet harbor hatred, jealousy, or betrayal in their hearts lose the ability to continue operating in secrecy and confusion around my life. Father, I proclaim that divine separation takes place now between me and every relationship that is rooted in deception rather than covenant. Let every connection sustained by manipulation, envy, or hidden resentment be dismantled by your authority, and let no false alliance maintain access to my spirit, my plans, or my future. I declare that those who have eaten at my table, yet plan my downfall, are exposed by divine light, and the trust they abused is withdrawn permanently. Let every Judas spirit assigned to betray my confidence, my kindness, and my openness be removed completely from my path and rendered powerless. I decree that false friends lose influence, lose proximity, and lose relevance in my life. Their words no longer carry weight, their presence no longer brings confusion, and their opinions no longer shape my decisions, for God himself redraws the boundaries of my relationships. Let divine discomfort arise in the hearts of those who do not belong in my next season, causing them to drift away without conflict, without struggle, and without damage. I declare peaceful separation, divine distancing, and supernatural disengagement from every harmful connection. I proclaim that God surrounds me only with relationships rooted in truth, loyalty, and sincerity. Every counterfeit relationship fades, every deceptive bond dissolves, and every alliance not ordained by God collapses under the weight of divine truth. I declare discernment sharpened within me, clarity heightened around me, and wisdom released into my spirit, so that I recognize falsehood without confusion and detect betrayal without delay. I no longer walk blindly among hidden enemies. Father, I decree that every trap set through friendship, familiarity, or emotional access is dismantled, and every strategy designed to harm me through closeness is exposed and destroyed. No enemy will hide behind intimacy again. I seal this declaration by faith, proclaiming that false friends are revealed, unhealthy ties are severed, and divine separation has permanently secured my peace, my safety, and my destiny. The Lord has purified my circle, and I walk forward surrounded only by truth and divine alignment. Lord my God, I declare that you rise around me as a living shield, a wall of fire, and a strong tower, enclosing my life on every side. I proclaim that no threat, seen or unseen, can penetrate the defense you establish for me, and I rest in the assurance that your protection is active, alert, and unbreakable, guarding my going out and my coming in with unfailing power. I decree that every weapon fashioned against my body, my mind, my name, and my destiny loses its force and fails at the point of assignment. Arrows fired in secret miss their target. Traps laid with precision collapse before activation. And every plan designed to harm me is neutralized by the authority of the Most High who defends me. Father, I proclaim divine insulation over my spirit, my emotions, and my decisions. No spiritual contamination, no emotional manipulation, and no mental assault shall gain access to me. For you surround me with truth, peace, and clarity, establishing boundaries that darkness cannot cross. I declare that angels are released on my behalf to enforce my safety, to stand guard over my path, and to intercept every attack aimed at destabilizing my life. Let their presence be felt, their assignments be fulfilled, and their vigilance remain constant as they carry out the command of heaven concerning me. I decree that every ambush prepared for me is exposed before I arrive, every snare is revealed before it entangles me, and every hidden danger is disarmed before it threatens my peace. I walk with divine awareness, guided and protected by the hand of the Lord, who watches over me without slumber. Let every curse spoken against me be canceled by divine authority, and every word of harm lose its power upon contact with my life. I proclaim that blessings override curses, favor overwhelms opposition, and the covenant of protection established by God speaks louder than every voice raised against me. I declare that fear has no place in my dwelling, for perfect love surrounds me and drives out every trace of intimidation. I stand confident, not because of my own strength, but because the Lord himself stands with me as my defender, my refuge, and my stronghold. Father, I proclaim that my nights are covered with peace and my days are ordered by divine wisdom. No terror by night, no danger by day, and no sudden calamity shall come near me. For your presence secures my rest and establishes calm within my soul. I decree that my life is hidden in you, beyond the reach of those who seek my harm. Every attempt to locate me for evil purposes fails. Every search conducted by darkness ends in frustration, and every strategy collapses because my dwelling place is under divine protection. I seal this declaration by faith, proclaiming that the Lord is my shield, my defense, and my preservation. I am protected, guarded, and sustained by his mighty hand. And I move forward in confidence, knowing that no force formed against me can prevail now or evermore. Lord my God, I declare that you arise now against every counsel, strategy, and advice spoken in secret against my life. And I proclaim that every plan conceived in darkness to manipulate my path, distort my decisions, or derail my destiny is overturned by your sovereign authority. Let no evil counsel stand. Let no hidden agenda prosper. And let every word not ordained by you lose its influence over my life. I decree that the wisdom of the wicked becomes foolishness, and their carefully constructed plans collapse under their own weight. Every discussion held with the intent to confuse me, mislead me, or push me into error is exposed, dismantled, and rendered powerless by the light of divine truth released from heaven. Father, I proclaim that confusion enters every meeting where my name is mentioned for harm, causing disagreement, contradiction, and division among those who plot against me. Let their thoughts scatter, their unity fracture, and their timing be disrupted, so that nothing they attempt reaches completion or success. I declare that every voice advising evil, manipulation, or deceit is silenced, and every tongue speaking destruction into my life is restrained by divine authority. Let their words turn against them. Let their advice misfire, and let the consequences of their counsel return upon their own heads. I decree that the Lord frustrates the intelligence of my adversaries, draining their clarity, dulling their perception, and blocking their foresight. Every plan they believe to be secure is exposed as fragile. Every move they consider strategic is rendered ineffective, and every advantage they claim is stripped away. Let every secret agreement formed to harm me be dissolved by divine power, and every alliance rooted in jealousy, hatred, or deceit collapse suddenly and completely. I declare that the strength of their counsel is broken, their confidence erodes, and their influence over my life is permanently destroyed. I proclaim that no evil advice will direct my steps, no deceptive guidance will shape my choices, and no hidden manipulation will influence my future. The counsel of the Lord stands firm over my life, guiding me in wisdom, clarity, and truth beyond the reach of darkness. Father, I decree that every plot designed to trap me through misleading information, half-truths, or calculated silence is exposed and dismantled. Let truth rise, let lies collapse, and let divine clarity govern every decision I make from this day forward. I declare that those who rely on wicked counsel stumble into confusion, frustration, and delay. While I move forward under divine guidance and protection, their paths grow darker, their progress slows, and their plans unravel as the Lord establishes my steps securely. I seal this declaration by faith, proclaiming that every evil counsel against me is overturned, every deceptive strategy is dismantled, and the wisdom of God reigns supreme over my life. The Lord directs my path, guards my decisions, and ensures that no plan formed against me will ever succeed. Lord my God, I declare that you enter the deepest places of my heart, where pain has lingered and wounds have remained unspoken, and I proclaim that your healing power flows through my soul now, touching every place bruised by betrayal, rejection, and deceit. Let every internal ache be lifted, every heaviness dissolve, and every scar left by false friends lose its grip on my peace. I decree that the weight placed upon my heart by treachery, broken trust, and silent opposition is removed by divine strength. I refuse to carry burdens planted by wicked intentions, And I declare that my soul is restored, refreshed, and renewed by the presence of the Lord, who understands my pain completely. Father, I proclaim that you replace sorrow with comfort, anxiety with assurance, and turmoil with calm. Where my heart has been restless, you release peace, and where my thoughts have been troubled, you establish clarity, stability, and divine order within my inner being. I declare that every emotional wound inflicted through words, actions, or hidden agendas is healed by your hand. No memory of betrayal will continue to torment me. No experience of loss will weaken me, and no pain from the past will dictate my future. For you restore my soul fully and completely. I decree that my strength is renewed daily, rising above weariness, discouragement, and fatigue. Even where my spirit felt overwhelmed, you infuse me with resilience, endurance, and courage, enabling me to stand firm and move forward without fear or hesitation. Let every voice of condemnation, regret, or self-blame be silenced within me. I declare that guilt has no authority over my heart, shame has no residence in my soul, and heaviness has no hold on my spirit. For the Lord lifts my head and restores my dignity. I proclaim that divine peace settles within me like a river, calming every storm that once raged inside. I am no longer shaken by past hurts, no longer disturbed by lingering memories, and no longer bound by emotional turmoil, because the presence of God establishes rest in my soul. Father, I declare that my inner man is strengthened, fortified, and stabilized by your Spirit. My heart is guarded, my emotions are balanced, and my thoughts are aligned with truth, ensuring that nothing broken within me remains broken any longer. I decree that joy is restored to me, not as fleeting emotion, but as deep assurance anchored in you. Laughter replaces sorrow, hope replaces despair, and confidence rises within me as I trust fully in the Lord who heals and restores all things. I seal this declaration by faith, proclaiming that my heart is healed. My strength is renewed and my inner man is fully restored. The wounds of betrayal no longer define me. The pain of the past no longer controls me, and the peace of God reigns within me, now and forevermore. Lord my God, I declare that you make a way of escape for me from every trap set in secret and every snare laid along my path. I proclaim that where danger has been planned, you release divine interruption, and where harm has been calculated, you establish safe passage, ensuring that I move forward untouched, unharmed, and preserved by your mighty hand. I decree that every net spread for my feet is revealed before I step into it. Every ambush prepared against me is dismantled before I arrive, and every hidden danger loses its power to surprise or overwhelm me. I walk under divine awareness, led by the wisdom of God who sees the end from the beginning and preserves my life. Father, I proclaim that you carry me above pitfalls and lift me out of narrow places designed to trap me. When enemies attempt to corner me, you create openings. When pressure increases, you release relief. And when escape seems impossible, you intervene with supernatural precision. I declare that no pursuit meant to overtake me will succeed. No plan meant to capture me will prevail, and no force assigned to block my progress will hold me back. I am delivered not by chance, but by divine orchestration, as the Lord orders my steps away from harm and toward safety. I decree that my life is preserved in times of uncertainty, confusion, and transition. Even when the path ahead is unclear, you guide me safely, shielding me from error, misjudgment, and unseen danger, ensuring that I arrive whole, secure, and victorious at every destination you have appointed for me. Let every attempt to ensnare me through manipulation, deception, or emotional pressure fail completely. I declare that I am not lured by false promises, not distracted by misleading opportunities, and not drawn into traps disguised as favor. for the Spirit of God keeps me alert and discerning. I proclaim that you deliver me swiftly when trouble rises suddenly, and preserve me quietly when danger lurks unnoticed. Whether the threat is loud or silent, near or distant, obvious or hidden, your hand intervenes on my behalf, rescuing me from harm and restoring my sense of safety. Father, I declare that every escape you provide is clean, complete, and without loss. I do not flee in shame. I do not retreat in fear, and I do not survive by compromise. But I move forward strengthened, wiser, and more secure, carrying no residue of the danger I escaped. I decree that my preservation becomes a testimony of your faithfulness, showing that you guard those who trust in you and rescue those who call upon your name. What was meant to destroy me becomes proof of your protection, and what was designed to trap me becomes evidence of your deliverance. I seal this declaration by faith, proclaiming that divine escape is established, preservation is secured, and safe passage is granted to me in every season. The Lord watches over my life, shields me from harm, and ensures that I walk forward, preserved, protected, and victorious under his covering. Lord my God, I declare that you arise in righteous judgment against every enemy who persists in evil against me, every heart that refuses repentance, and every hand that continues to work harm in secret. I proclaim that your justice is released now, balanced, accurate, and unstoppable, confronting wickedness with truth and repaying wrongdoing according to your perfect will. I decree that every plot designed to consume me returns to confront its maker, and every evil intention released against my life circles back to its source. Let the weight of their actions meet them face to face, and let the consequences of their choices overtake them, so that injustice is answered by divine recompense. Father, I proclaim that you weaken the strength of those who pursue me without cause, draining their resolve, scattering their influence, and dismantling their power. Let their persistence collapse, let their momentum fade, and let their determination to harm me dissolve under the pressure of your righteous judgment. I declare that every stubborn pursuer is halted, restrained, and redirected by divine authority. Where they once advanced confidently, they now retreat in confusion. And where they once plotted boldly, they now stumble under the weight of exposure, frustration, and loss. I decree that you repay deceit with truth, malice with justice, and cruelty with accountability. Let no act of betrayal go unanswered. Let no hidden harm escape notice, and let no wicked agenda remain unresolved. For the Lord who sees all rises to judge with fairness and power. Let every enemy who refuses peace encounter divine resistance at every turn. I proclaim that their paths become difficult, their progress slows, and their efforts unravel, not by my hand, but by the hand of the Lord who stands as my defender and vindicator. I declare that the authority behind every attack against me is broken. The spiritual backing of their schemes is stripped away, and the confidence they once relied on collapses. They lose support, lose clarity, and lose the ability to continue their pursuit. Father, I proclaim that your judgment brings an end to prolonged battles and drawn-out struggles. You settle my case completely, silence opposition permanently, and establish finality where there has been ongoing conflict, ensuring that what you judge does not rise again. I decree that as justice is released on my behalf, peace is restored to my life. Fear gives way to assurance, tension gives way to rest, and uncertainty gives way to confidence, because the Lord has stepped in to conclude what I could not end on my own. I seal this declaration by faith, proclaiming that divine judgment has spoken, recompense has been released, and stubborn enemies have been subdued. The Lord has vindicated me, settled my case, and established my victory, and I walk forward free, secure, and untroubled under his righteous rule. Lord my God, I declare that you release your peace into every area of my life where turmoil once reigned, and I proclaim that the storms stirred by betrayal, opposition, and prolonged conflict are calmed by your authority. Let your peace settle deeply within me, silencing every inner noise and restoring order where chaos once tried to dominate my thoughts and emotions. I decree that anxiety loses its grip on my heart, and restlessness releases its hold on my mind. I declare that the peace you give is not fragile or temporary, but strong, enduring, and firmly established, guarding my inner man and stabilizing me even when circumstances attempt to provoke fear or uncertainty. Father, I proclaim that you quiet every troubled thought and soothe every wounded emotion. Where my heart once raced with concern and my mind replayed pain, you now establish stillness, assurance, and confidence, allowing me to rest fully in the knowledge that you are in control. I declare that my nights are no longer disturbed by worry, replayed conversations, or lingering fear. I sleep in peace, rise in strength, and move through my days with calm assurance, for the Lord watches over me and keeps my mind at rest under his covering. I decree that peace reigns in my decisions, my conversations, and my responses. I am no longer reactive, no longer driven by pressure, and no longer shaken by the actions of others, because your peace governs my spirit and guides my steps with quiet confidence. Let every internal conflict caused by confusion, doubt, or emotional strain be resolved by divine clarity. I declare that harmony is restored within me, aligning my thoughts, emotions, and spirit under the rule of your peace, so that nothing within me remains divided or unsettled. I proclaim that the peace of God stands as a guard over my heart, preventing the return of fear, bitterness, or distress. What you have settled within me remains settled, and what you have calmed within me will not rise again to trouble my soul. Father, I declare that even in the presence of unresolved external situations, my inner peace remains intact. Circumstances do not dictate my state of mind, and opposition does not steal my calm, for I am anchored in the assurance of your faithfulness and protection. I decree that peace extends beyond my inner world and surrounds my environment, my home, and my relationships. Tension dissolves, hostility fades, and calm replaces strain as the presence of the Lord establishes rest on every side of my life. I seal this declaration by faith, proclaiming that divine peace has taken residence within me, inner stillness has been restored, and rest reigns permanently in my heart. The Lord has calmed my soul, secured my mind, and established me in unshakable peace now and always. Lord my God, I declare that you step into every area of my life where loss has occurred and release divine restoration with power and precision. I proclaim that nothing taken through betrayal, delay, or opposition remains lost, for you restore what was damaged, return what was stolen, and rebuild what was broken by the actions of others. I decree that you compensate me for seasons of endurance, silent suffering, and unacknowledged faithfulness. Where I was overlooked, you now reward openly. Where I endured quietly, you now honor publicly. And where I remained patient under pressure, you now release divine recompense beyond my expectations. Father, I proclaim that you restore my time, my joy, and my momentum. Delays do not define me, setbacks do not limit me, and lost opportunities do not determine my future. For you redeem every season and reposition me for progress, growth, and fulfillment. I declare that shame is replaced with honor and disappointment gives way to celebration. Where others expected my downfall, you establish my vindication, and where my integrity was tested, you now confirm it with visible evidence of your favor and faithfulness. I decree that every tear shed in private is remembered by you and answered with abundance. The weight of past struggles is exchanged for joy, peace, and renewed confidence, and the heaviness that once followed me is lifted by your restoring hand. Let every accusation raised against my character be silenced by divine vindication. I declare that you defend my name, clear my reputation, and establish truth where misunderstanding and falsehood once prevailed, ensuring that my integrity stands firm. I proclaim that my future is brighter than my past, guided by your wisdom and filled with renewed hope. You realign my steps, reposition my path, and accelerate my progress, ensuring that restoration is not partial but complete and enduring. Father, I declare that you reward my trust in you with peace of mind, stability of heart, and clarity of purpose. The confidence I place in you is not wasted, and the faith I have maintained is answered with tangible evidence of your goodness. I decree that what you restore to me is protected, sustained, and multiplied. No thief returns, no enemy reclaims access, and no force diminishes what you have given back, for your restoration carries permanence and divine security. I seal this declaration by faith, proclaiming that restoration is complete, reward is released, and vindication is established. The Lord has honored my endurance, restored my losses, and secured my future, and I move forward rejoicing in the fullness of his faithful work in my life. Lord my God, I declare that you release supernatural strength into every area of my life where weariness once lingered, and I proclaim that the fatigue caused by prolonged battles, emotional strain, and silent endurance is replaced now by fresh power flowing from your presence, lifting me above exhaustion and restoring my ability to stand firm and move forward. I decree that my strength is renewed daily, not by my own effort, but by the sustaining power of the Lord who upholds me. Even where I once felt drained, discouraged, or overwhelmed, you infuse me with endurance, resilience, and renewed confidence to continue without collapse or retreat. Father, I proclaim that you fortify my spirit, steady my heart, and stabilize my emotions. I am no longer weakened by pressure, no longer shaken by uncertainty, and no longer exhausted by opposition, for your strength anchors me and keeps me upright in every season. I declare that you empower me to rise above limitations imposed by past experiences, failures, or losses. What once drained me now strengthens me. What once slowed me now propels me forward, and what once weakened me becomes a source of renewed determination under your hand. I decree that my mind is strengthened to remain focused, alert, and clear. Confusion, mental fatigue, and scattered thoughts lose their grip on me, and I walk in mental clarity, sound judgment, and sustained concentration as you renew my inner capacity. Let every attempt to weaken me through fear, intimidation, or prolonged stress fail completely. I declare that I am upheld by divine power, protected from burnout, and sustained by grace, ensuring that I do not collapse under pressure or retreat from purpose. I proclaim that you strengthen me for the journey ahead. Not just for today's demands, you prepare me for longevity, consistency, and endurance, enabling me to carry responsibility, calling, and purpose without strain or breakdown. Father, I declare that your strength flows through my body, my spirit, and my resolve. Weakness is replaced with vitality, heaviness with energy, and hesitation with confidence, as you equip me to face every challenge with steady assurance. I decree that I do not falter, faint, or fall along my path. Even when circumstances test my endurance, your sustaining power keeps me upright, moving forward with persistence, patience, and unwavering faith in your support. I seal this declaration by faith, proclaiming that supernatural strength has been released, renewal is established, and divine sustaining power rests upon me. The Lord upholds me, empowers me, and ensures that I stand strong, steady, and victorious in every season of my life. Lord my God, I declare that you take full control of my path and release divine guidance into every decision before me. I proclaim that confusion is removed, uncertainty is lifted, and clarity rises within my spirit. For you are the God who leads with precision and never allows those who trust in you to wander without direction. I decree that my steps are ordered deliberately and accurately by your wisdom. I do not move blindly, I do not choose carelessly, and I do not advance in error, because your hand directs me away from danger and toward paths that preserve my peace, my purpose, and my destiny. Father, I proclaim that you silence every conflicting voice seeking to distract, mislead, or rush me into wrong decisions. I declare that your voice becomes the loudest, clearest, and most authoritative influence guiding my thoughts, my choices, and my actions. I declare that every wrong path presented to me is closed by divine intervention, and every door that would lead to regret, loss, or delay is shut permanently. I walk only through doors you open, and I trust that what you block is for my protection and future stability. I decree that discernment operates strongly within me, allowing me to recognize truth without confusion and identify deception without delay. I am not misled by appearances, pressured by urgency, or influenced by manipulation, for divine wisdom governs my perception. Let every decision that once felt heavy now be guided by peace and assurance. I declare that you remove anxiety from my choices and replace it with confidence, enabling me to move forward calmly, securely, and without regret as I follow your direction. I proclaim that my future is not shaped by guesswork or chance, but by intentional guidance from the Lord. You align my opportunities, arrange my timing, and position me correctly so that I arrive at the right place at the right time for the right purpose. Father, I declare that when uncertainty tries to return, your wisdom rises within me again. I am not stranded in indecision, not trapped in hesitation, and not delayed by fear, because your guidance is consistent, dependable, and always available to me. I decree that my path becomes clearer with every step I take in obedience. Confusion fades as I move forward, doubt dissolves as I trust you, and direction sharpens as I remain aligned with your will for my life. I seal this declaration by faith, proclaiming that divine guidance is established, clarity is restored, and my direction is secure. The Lord leads me with wisdom, guards my steps with precision, and ensures that I walk confidently and correctly into the future he has prepared for me. Lord my God, I declare that every form of fear that once sought to govern my thoughts, weaken my resolve, or intimidate my spirit is broken now by your authority. I proclaim that fear no longer speaks louder than faith, no longer dictates my reactions, and no longer shapes my decisions, for you have established courage and confidence within me. I decree that the fear produced by betrayal, opposition, and uncertainty loses its grip on my heart. The memories that once triggered anxiety no longer control me, and the threats that once intimidated me now fade in the presence of the Lord who stands with me and strengthens me. Father, I proclaim that boldness rises within me, replacing hesitation and doubt. I step forward with assurance, not because circumstances are perfect, but because my trust is rooted in you, and your presence within me produces courage that cannot be shaken. I declare that intimidation has no authority over my life. The opinions of enemies, the pressure of opposition, and the fear of outcomes no longer silence me or hold me back. For the Lord empowers me to stand firm and move forward without retreat. I decree that my confidence is restored and fortified. I no longer second-guess my steps, question my worth, or doubt my calling, because the God who has guided me this far continues to uphold me with unwavering support. Let every internal voice of fear, failure, or insecurity be silenced by divine truth. I proclaim that my mind is anchored in faith, my heart is stabilized by trust, and my spirit is strengthened by the assurance that you go before me and stand behind me. I declare that courage flows through every area of my life, empowering me to face challenges calmly, confront opposition wisely, and respond to pressure with confidence. Fear no longer rushes me, paralyzes me, or distorts my judgment. Father, I proclaim that even in unfamiliar territory, I walk boldly and securely. Uncertainty does not intimidate me. Change does not weaken me, and new seasons do not frighten me, because you remain constant and faithful in every transition. I decree that the confidence you place within me is steady, mature, and unshakable. It is not rooted in pride or self-reliance, but in trust in your guidance, your protection, and your unfailing commitment to my life. I seal this declaration by faith, proclaiming that fear has lost its power, courage has taken its place, and unbreakable confidence now governs my steps. The Lord strengthens my heart, secures my mind, and establishes me firmly in boldness and peace forevermore. Lord my God, I declare that my heart is anchored in trust toward you, and I proclaim that no matter what I have faced, endured, or overcome, my confidence in you remains firm and unshaken. I choose to trust you fully, not because circumstances are always clear, but because your faithfulness has proven itself again and again in my life. I decree that praise rises from my spirit as a deliberate act of faith, even before every outcome is visible. I honor you with thanksgiving, not based on what I see, based on who you are, acknowledging that you are faithful, dependable, and always present in every season of my journey. Father, I proclaim that my trust in you silences doubt, quiets fear, and settles every question within my heart. I no longer wrestle with uncertainty or anxiety because I rest in the assurance that you are working all things together for my good, even when the process is not immediately understood. I declare that praise becomes my posture and gratitude becomes my language. I refuse complaint, I reject despair, and I dismiss discouragement, choosing instead to magnify the Lord who sustains me, defends me, and continually proves himself strong on my behalf. I decree that my trust in you is not fragile or conditional, but deep, rooted, and established. It does not waver under pressure. It does not collapse under delay. And it does not weaken under opposition, because it is founded on your unchanging nature and eternal truth. Let my praise rise as evidence of my confidence in you. I proclaim that thanksgiving flows from my heart even in silence, even in waiting, and even in transition, because I know that the God who began this work in me will complete it with excellence and power. I declare that my hope remains alive and active, untouched by disappointment or delay. I trust that what you have promised will surely come to pass, and I hold fast to faith, knowing that you never abandon what you have spoken or forget what you have planned. Father, I proclaim that praise strengthens my spirit and reinforces my trust. As I lift my voice in thanksgiving, my heart is steadied, my mind is settled, and my confidence is renewed, confirming that you are in control and that nothing escapes your authority. I decree that trust in you becomes my default response in every situation. When questions arise, I trust. When pressure increases, I trust. And when answers seem delayed, I trust. Because you are faithful beyond measure, and your timing is always perfect. I seal this declaration by faith, proclaiming that praise and trust are permanently established within me. My heart rests confidently in the Lord. My spirit rejoices in his faithfulness, And I stand secure knowing that my trust in God will never be disappointed. Lord my God, I declare that you bring every battle to a decisive end and establish complete victory in my life. I proclaim that nothing remains unresolved, nothing remains contested, and nothing remains uncertain. For you conclude what you begin, and you perfect every work you have started concerning me. I decree that every enemy assignment against my peace, my purpose, and my future is fully dismantled and rendered powerless. No lingering influence, no returning opposition, and no hidden resistance remains, because the authority of the Lord has settled every matter permanently. Father, I proclaim that every prayer I have lifted before you stands answered and sealed by your hand. The words spoken in faith are established in the realm of the Spirit, and the outcomes they produce unfold with divine timing, accuracy, and completeness. I declare that my life now moves forward free from fear, free from obstruction, and free from interference. The weight of past struggles is lifted. The pressure of ongoing battles is removed, and the peace of God reigns firmly within me. I decree that victory is not momentary but lasting. What you have done cannot be reversed. What you have established cannot be shaken, and what you have secured cannot be stolen. Because your authority stands above every other power, let my testimony rise as evidence of your faithfulness and power. I proclaim that what I survive now speaks of your protection. What I overcame now reveals your strength, and what I endured now confirms your sustaining grace at work in my life. I declare that my future is firmly anchored in hope, stability, and divine assurance. I move forward with confidence, not haunted by the past, not threatened by uncertainty, and not shaken by fear, because the Lord goes before me and walks beside me. Father, I proclaim that your peace guards my heart, and your presence surrounds my life continually. Even beyond this moment, I remain secure, protected, and upheld by your hand, confident that you will never leave me nor fail me. I decree that this prayer stands complete, sealed, and established by divine authority. No word spoken in faith returns void, no declaration made before you is ignored, and no victory released is undone, because you watch over your word to perform it. I seal this final declaration by faith, proclaiming that it is finished, it is established, and it is irreversible. The Lord has spoken, the Lord has acted, and the Lord has secured my victory, my peace, and my destiny, now and forevermore. As we close this prayer, I declare peace, protection, and restoration over your life. May everything spoken be sealed and manifested by God's power. Stay connected with the Divine Cleansing Secret Channel for more powerful prayers, spiritual warfare declarations, and faith-strengthening content. God bless you.